I think we're being lied to about our 20s. Not directly, but constantly. Everywhere you look, it's people flexing. Trips, cars, clothes, lifestyle. And it makes it feel like your 20s are supposed to look impressive. Like if you're not doing big things, posting big wins, living fast, you're wasting time. I don't think that's true. I think your 20s are actually for being confused, for making quiet progress, for building stuff nobody claps for yet. But that doesn't look good online, so it feels wrong. Flexing in your 20s is usually just spending tomorrow's stability today. People aren't rich, they're early. Early in debt, early in burnout, early in pretending. And yeah, some people really are doing well, but most are just keeping up appearances. What nobody wants to say is that your 20s are messy by default. You're figuring out who you are, what you're good at, what you're not, what you even want. That's not a flex stage. That's a foundation stage. I think a lot of people ruin their 30s trying to look successful in their 20s. They lock themselves into lifestyles they haven't earned yet. They prioritize image over options. And once you build your life around flexing, it's hard to slow down without feeling like you failed. I've noticed the people who are actually calm, actually stable, actually confident, weren't loud in their 20s. They were boring. They were focused. They were invisible. They didn't look successful. They were becoming successful. And that difference matters. Your 20s aren't for proving anything. They're for learning. Learning discipline. Learning how money works. Learning how your mind works. Learning how to sit with discomfort without escaping it. Flexing skips all of that. It looks good now and costs you later. So if your life feels quiet right now, if you're not impressing anyone, if you're just trying to get your footing, that might actually mean you're doing it right. What nobody tells you is that flexing comes with a bill. It just doesn't arrive right away. It shows up later. It shows up as debt you can't shake, as pressure to keep earning just to maintain appearances, as anxiety every time money slows down. I've noticed that a lot of flexing isn't confidence. It's insecurity with a budget. People aren't trying to enjoy life. They're trying to prove something, that they're not behind, that they made it, that they're winning. But when your identity gets tied to looking successful, you stop making smart decisions. You choose what looks good over what makes sense. You choose fast rewards over long-term peace. And the scary part is, social media normalizes it. You start thinking this is just how life works, that everyone is spending, upgrading, traveling nonstop. But most of it is financed, borrowed, stretched. And once you lock yourself into that lifestyle, you don't really get to breathe. Your job owns you. Your income owns you. Your image owns you. You can't slow down. You can't take risks. You can't afford mistakes. That's not freedom. Your 20s are probably the last time you can afford to be invisible, to make moves quietly, to mess up without destroying everything, to live below your means without anyone questioning it. But flexing takes that advantage away. It forces you into a pace you didn't choose. I've also noticed how flex culture messes with self-worth. You start measuring yourself by what you have instead of who you're becoming. So even when you're making progress, it doesn't feel like enough, because it's not loud, because it's not visible, because nobody's clapping. But the boring stuff is what compounds. Skills, habits, savings, mental strength. None of that looks impressive at 23 or 25, but it matters a lot at 30. I think the real flex in your 20s is having options, being able to quit, to pivot, to take a risk without panicking. Flexing kills options. It locks you into a version of life you might not even want. So if you're not flexing right now, if you feel behind, If your life looks boring, that might be your advantage. You're building space, not noise. I'm not saying nobody should enjoy their 20s. I'm not saying you should live like a monk. I'm just questioning the pressure to look impressive all the time. So I want to ask you, do you feel that pressure too? To look successful? To look like you're winning? Have you ever spent money or made decisions just so you wouldn't feel behind? And if you're being honest, do you think flex culture actually makes people happier or just more stressed? I'm also curious how many people feel like their life is boring right now, even though they're actually building something real. If you're in your 20s, what do you think this decade is really for? And if you're past your 20s, what do you wish you focused on more back then? Drop your thoughts in the comments. No flexing, just real answers.